happy birthday to Tom Selleck yesterday. So today, of course we're going to celebrate on this show, because if anyone has been for any of you who have been following along, you know that Tom Selleck is talked about more often on this show than anybody else. And simply because I say it every time I think I talk about him, that man deserves more credit than he gets. Tom Selleck is a legend. He just turned 77 and he's still in the game. He hasn't made any movies since 2010, The Killers, but you know, he's still doing Blue Bloods, and he's still, in my opinion, one of the greats, one of the best actors ever. And I always say, I wish he got more credit. I wish, you know, but one can wish, but at least I get to enjoy what I do have of Tom Selleck. Today, I thought I would rank my top 5 favorite Tom Selleck performances. We could do my top 5 Tom Selleck films, but a long time ago I had someone who watched the channel tell me that they would be interested in hearing me ranking actors' performances and what I consider to be their greatest. And I've always liked that idea, and I've played with that idea, and today I'm finally like, I gotta do it. You know, I got asked to do it, I'm gonna do it. So here are my top 5 favorite Tom Selleck performances, not films, performances. So coming in at number 5, I'm gonna go ahead and say Jack Elliott and Mr. Baseball. The reason I rank this performance at number 5 is I think it was good in giving us, allowing us to see Tom Selleck's comedic side. Tom Selleck he's always, if you've seen Magnum P.I. or in some of his other movies, he's always been more of a, he's got that comedic side to him. He's really good at it, and I think he could have had a really great film career, more comedies, if you know more had probably been passed to him. That's a whole different story. But this character, what I like about him is we also get to see the comedic side, but we also get to see this arrogant, self-centered side to Tom Selleck, because his character is so in the beginning he doesn't want to be where he's at, and so we get to see a different side to Tom Selleck than I'm used to seeing, yet in the end we still root for him and we still like him. And this is just one where you could tell that he was just having fun being, or at least he acted well enough that I thought his character, he as an actor, is having fun playing this character. So number 5 would be Jack Elliott. Coming in at number 4, I gotta say Peter Mitchell in 3 Men and a Baby / 3 Men and a Little Lady, but we'll focus on 3 Men and a Baby because both, you know, just what, we got to really see the sweet side to Tom Selleck. Again, we're getting that comedic side of Tom Selleck. You know, the three dads share a lot of the comedy, but we get to see such like a sweet side to Tom Selleck. And you know, that was something we also got to see in moments of Magnum P.I. for those who have watched and followed the original series. We do get to see that sweet side, but with this, it was just, you know, it was this. The whole, he's a bachelor, comes across this baby, has no idea what to do, yet he and his 2 best friends fall in love with this child and become better men than they once were. It's just such a fun, charming movie, and really Tom Selleck does that in its sequel, and Tom Selleck really does steal your heart in these movies with just how sweet he is, and how much he ends up caring for this child. And I think it kind of gave us a little bit more of maybe the real Tom Selleck, because from what I've read and heard on it, different interviews from people and stories from people on set with him, is just he was such a down-to-earth and sweet guy. He really cared for people, and I think this performance is so good from him because we get to see that caring side of him, the real side of Tom Selleck. So Pete Mitchell at number 4. Number 3, we're going to go with Matthew Quigley from Quigley Down Under. This role Tom Selleck was born to play, and he fits right into it. He's got that look, he's got the right attitude, and he brings his A-game performance to this role. It's so good, and I love this movie. And you know, I kind of think if Tom Selleck had been an actor, a film actor. If he had been acting in the 50s and 60s and 70s, I think he would have really thrived in the Western genre, because a lot of us, that's how we know of Tom Selleck, is from Westerns or Magnum P.I. But this performance, what's so good about it is, I don't know, he brings a realism to his character. He brings this character of Matthew Quigley to life, and it's someone that you want to be like. You know, that's when I think of men who have inspired me, or characters that have inspired me, people I want to be like, I would say Matthew Quigley. I think he's such a great character, and there's a lot of great qualities about him, and Tom Selleck really brings those qualities out. And like I said, he was just born to play this role, so I think that's one of his best performances. Coming in at number 2, my 2 and 1, I played back and forth a lot with these performances because I think both are so great and so spectacular. But I'm going to go ahead and give his character from An Innocent Man, which all of a sudden his name is slipping me. But his character from An Innocent Man from 1989 was superb. I felt like this was really different from a lot of other Tom Selleck performances. He brought such emotion to this character. If you haven't seen my review about this film yet, it's about a character who is he's wrongly accused and sent to prison, and he's just your everyday average kind of guy, and suddenly he's in prison now and doesn't know what to do. And I kid you not, I believe him in this movie so much, with his fear and his trauma and his pain. It's so believable and it's so real that I'm kind of like, dang, like Tom Selleck, like this was a role that he really put everything he had into it, and it showed us the range he had. You know, he brought this character to life. He really made you feel for this character, and that's what's so great about his performance is you sympathize with him, you hurt with him, and it wouldn't have. Tom Selleck did that through his acting. It was crazy. I loved it. So that's number 2, and it was almost number 1. But number 1, I had to say for his character from In and Out, who's also named Pete, but like Peter Mitchell from Men and the Baby. But the reason I picked this his character from In and Out is because I think it was so great that Tom Selleck, who was made to be like this sex symbol in the 80s, and someone that most people consider to be this attractive, good-looking man. He, in the 90s, when it was, you know, when being gay wasn't what it was today, it was still taboo, and there was definitely a stereotype about it. He broke that stereotype in and Out by still playing this attractive, likable man who was gay and proud of it, and had no problem telling people about it. And I think what was so great about this performance is, as I said, it was breaking the stereotypical Tom Selleck we see. He wasn't playing an action hero. He wasn't playing Magnum. He was playing a gay man in the 90s who was confident in who he was. And especially in that time, that was such a brave move for Tom Selleck, because, you know, that could have, in a sense, that could have ruined someone's career in the 90s. Because, again, it wasn't what it was, but he was confident enough and had, I've read him talking about in interviews, like he was just like, I was just happy to play this guy and had a fun time, and was glad that my character kind of helped Kevin Kline's character find his way. He was just, Tom Selleck just shows like he loves everybody, and it's his best performance because he went against normal casting. He went out on a limb and brought us such an enjoyable, likable character again that that was not. He was playing a character that wasn't accepted at the time. He was playing a gay man, and it was great to see him do that. And so I've always found that to be, I'd say, his best performance because he's so likable. And I just remembered, in Innocent Man, his character is Jimmy Rainwood. And so, anyways, that's my top 5 Tom Selleck performances. Comment down below what you think his top 5 performances are, and share what maybe another actor or actress that you'd like me to share my favorite performances of them. But I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and I hope that you keep on watching and make sure to subscribe. And again, happy birthday, Tom Selleck, if you see this. Don't stop. You're fantastic. See y'all later.